We'd like to welcome everyone to our regular city council meeting this Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. We welcome anybody watching us on YouTube. Appreciate you being with us tonight. We had a request that we were being a little too quiet up here. So council members, speak up into the microphone so those that online can hear us a little bit better. So we'll try better, ladies and gentlemen. And for those in the audience, you're just gonna have to listen to us yell, right? So but thank you all for being here. Appreciate that. Tonight's agenda, we did not have a work session. We canceled the work session, so we are going right into our city council meeting on item number 2, roll call. Amy?
Mayor Allen.
Here.
Councilmember Christiansen.
Here.
Councilmember Zishan.
Here.
Councilmember Parkinson.
Here.
Councilmember Thomas.
Here.
And Councilmember West is not present at this time.
Okay, haven't heard from him, so. Okay, he'll probably be a little bit late. All right, thank you all very much for being present tonight. Sorry about that. If you all rise and repeat the pledge with me, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you all for that pledge of allegiance. Let's move on. Again, welcome all of you tonight. Let's move on to our consent items. Item 5 or item 4. Item number 4.1, approval of tonight's agenda. Any changes or corrections, staff, to that agenda we have in front of us?
Everything else is good to go.
Everything's good to go. Thank you very much. Item 4.2 is approval of August 20th, 2024 council meeting minutes. Any changes, corrections to those minutes? Seeing none. Anyone opposed to approving those two items? Seeing none, we'll approve those by general consent. Thank you very much. Item number 5, citizen comments. Anybody?
Hello, friends. And I was in Dallas 2 weeks ago, so that's where I was. Okay.
See, I knew you were gone.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
Just bringing in the new September newsletter. Just like anything else, we're starting everything back up for the fall now. So of course, everything we offer over at the church is community available. And so we're starting up. We have book club, pickleball, Overeaters Anonymous. We have a ton of classes starting. So full calendar, it's listed there in the newsletter, and just wanted everyone to know. So and we have the rummage sale, the biannual rummage sale happening the end of September. So I'll put something out on the Facebook page, and you're all welcome to bring your stuff. And that will benefit the school supply drive for next year. So.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Amy, thank you so much for all your work and everything your organization does for us. So appreciate you. Anybody else? I think you guys are probably on the agenda somewhere. So thanks for being with us. You guys, appreciate you. Let's move on then. Recurring business, item 6.1, motion/ordinance 24-05. Approval of amendment to chapter 17.10 relating to residential infill development. Yes,
Okay,
you're ready.
Mayor, Council, this has been in front of you now a couple of times to consider some of the language for infill. The new infill language that you have, the edits that are there are based on our last work session that we had regarding infill, and wanted to get that in front of you and see how you feel about those edits as written, and now we're looking at going forward with that.
Okay.
And it's on for you to vote on tonight.
Okay, simple as that. We put a lot of time into this, and council, you've spent a lot of time reviewing it. And they've changed it according to our requests, so I hope it's okay now. Anything we've left out? Jared?
I don't believe there was anything left out. I did notice, which number is it? 4D was addressing our moderate income that we had been looking into. And I feel like the way that it was worded seemed good. Jill, I know that you were concerned about this as well. Did you feel confident with the way that that was reworded? Okay. Yeah. Okay, is this wrong?
Looks good.
Okay. All right, I think that I really appreciated that one. Also, I appreciated that the idea about staff still being involved with the, looking at things. I don't remember where that was at now. It's further down. Very well. It addressed my concerns that I had, making sure that we were not left without the expertise of our staff input when things were happening there, including with the possibility of increasing the what's my word I'm looking for? How many units you can have?
Density.
Density, that hard word.
It's a tough one.
Density that was there, making sure that we were not looking past the recommendations that are existing here in our city with density, including with moderate income housing and things that way. So I appreciated the changes that were there. Felt like they were good. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Again,
No, looks good to me.
yeah, great. Again, thank you, staff, for listening to the council, straightening things out, and make it easier for us to understand. So appreciate that. Council, we have a staff recommendation to approve this ordinance 24-05. It's up to you. I would entertain a motion.
I motion the ordinance 24-5 approval of the amendment to chapter 17.10 relating to the residential infill development.
Okay, we have a motion to approve ordinance 24-05.
I'll second the motion.
We have a second. Is there any further discussion? Thank you. This will require a roll call vote. Amy?
Councilmember Zishan,
Yes.
Councilmember Parkinson,
Yes.
Councilmember West,
Yes.
Councilmember Thomas,
Yes.
Councilmember Christiansen.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That is unanimous. Let's move forward. Item number 7, council.
Mayor?
I'm sorry.
Do you mind?
No, go
Just
ahead.
1 second.
Okay,
Mayor, Council, thank you for your work that you did with us to come up with some language that collectively we feel like is good policy for the city. Thank you for your efforts and our clear, good, straight across communication. It is great to work with a council that works together and together with staff as a team, coming up with best solution rather than just moderately okay. So thank you. Appreciate your efforts.
Yep.
And that's all I have to say about
Okay.
that.
thank you, Tom. All right, number 8, administration, or no, number 7, council communication. Mike, can we start with you?
Sure. The only complaint I've had with the school system coming back in is there is somewhere on 5,000 South and really close to 150 East, there is a lawn care business that they've been parking really close to that crosswalk by the bus stop right there. And there's been a concern that some kids are not feeling safe crossing it because that lawn care business is parking too close to the crosswalk. So if there's anything we can do to take care of that.
You bet.
Some shape or
Could you remind me the address for that?
it's right around 150 East on 5,000 South. It's on the west side of the road,
Okay.
On 150 East or?
right by.
Lieutenant Cowley,
150
you know where
East.
that's at? Yes. It's A landscaping. I know the gentleman there. Yeah, sometimes they park even
At the
not real
crosswalk,
close to the crosswalks. It's
Yeah.
hard to see around.
yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, that'd be a good thing to ask them to move those way back or something.
Yeah.
It's okay if they park on the street, but keep them away from the crosswalks. Good. Thank you, Mike.
Yep, and that's all I have.
Good point.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jeff West, welcome.
Yeah, thanks. The only thing that I had is there are speaking of lawn care businesses, on 5700. There's several vehicles and trailers and stuff parked there. I've been asked about it, and I don't think it's really against anything, but is there a problem there? It's.
I have I have an answer for that.
Thank you, Mayor.
There kind of is a problem there.
Okay.
I don't think they should be parked there, but as we found out with Lieutenant and Tyler and Martin working on the problem, I think they all read the ordinance a little bit differently, so
Yeah.
it's not clear. So they are gonna team up, get together and clean up the ordinance. And, because I've had tons of complaints about those trailers there. And there's really not much we can do about it right now. So we'll get that cleaned up.
That's what I thought. Is that-
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get it.
So get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So staff is working on that right now. We'll see if we can get that cleaned up a little bit. And maybe get those trailers moved. But it's gonna take a little bit. Take at least a couple of weeks. It'll have to come back to us
Yes.
probably.
Yep.
So it will, we'll be ready for it in 2 weeks. If you guys get it done in 2 weeks. So, okay.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Oh, does that have to go through planning commission first? Oh, well, then you got plenty of.
Yeah. Got some
Okay.
time on that.
Yeah. Oh, it has to go through the planning commission first before it comes back to the council. Land use deal there. Okay, no problem. Anything else, Jeff?
There's some lighting in the city that flickered on and off, or they're off. Those, if you're walking out at night, there's some very dark spots in the city.
Yeah, yeah,
The lighting, I don't know.
right. Well,
Getting any concerns on that?
Yeah, the Rocky Mountain Power has a really good reporting system on their webpage. You can go into there, report it directly. Then the person who sees the problem can get the identification off the pole and report it on their webpage.
That's exactly what I told them. So
Okay,
Look over there.
Sorry, Jeff,
it
I
looked
didn't
like
mean to
it's not
jump on
one
you.
call. I just want to make sure that that's the right process. So
that is.
They
yep.
said, look on there, it looks like there's a little license plate on there usually.
Mhm.
That's the number, and you report it directly to Rocky Mountain, so.
Yeah.
That was the instruction I gave. So. Okay.
perfect.
Yep.
That'll work. That'll work. And on that, I'd just like to thank our Public Works Department, especially Jake. Jake and I have been working on some street lights, moving a couple street lights, adding a couple street lights on 5700 South. It was a pretty dark area at nights, and I noticed that the gentlemen have been there for about the last week moving, and I think they moved the last one today. And it's just amazing how good those guys work. I mean, they can get that done in no time, those big old poles, and get them replaced. So thank Jake and whoever's helped on that. So I think we'll finally get those up and running, get that street a little safer.
Jake's been pushing that rope up that hill for quite some.
Yeah, I think I've been pushing him to the rope
Oh, yeah,
for quite some time.
definitely.
But yeah, it's a safety issue right there. So appreciate that getting done. Can't remember. Oh, Sturgeon Construction, Sturgis,
Sturgeon, I don't recall.
Sturgeon. I don't know. They're,
Contractor for Rocky
tell
Mountain.
you, man, they're top notch. They get in there and they do the job. An hour later, can't even tell they were there. They restore the property. It's great. It's great. So, okay, Cheryl.
Well, since we're on the 5700 South one, I was contacted by one of the residents there as well. Question that I have, I know that they were concerned about it narrowing the street where those vehicles are parked. So I don't know if it would be just something that we could approach the people that own those vehicles and just ask them if they could stagger them even to approach, to allow a little bit more there. But the other thing that goes with it is this particular gentleman had a concern about the empty lot, the vacant lot there, that evidently one of the companies is parking their trailer with the grass that they cut. and that the stench from it is getting pretty pungent because it sits for some time before they go to dump it. I suggested that that might be one of those non-emergent things that you could do there, and he says, well, I'm a little too old to be able to do that. So I told him I would pass the word along, that there is a concern that of the grass clippings that are left in the trailer parked on that particular, he says it's on the lot, it's not on a street, that perhaps
Okay.
that could be looked at.
Okay.
That's number one.
Okay.
Next is I was also contacted by a resident with some questions about the AMI system. Some things that, and my response was that I'm sure with it being such a brand new system, many of these questions are going to come up and that we will share knowledge as we get it ourselves about this. Questions such as when is the billing time going to be set for the actual time when they read the meters, for when that will be happening, so that it can be a consistent type of thing. With the system that it's been today, as of now, you'd have like a 6-day window perhaps that could be done. And they wondered, if we would be able to get a more specific idea. And I thought in some way this would be correct. If we're really using the system, monitoring it carefully, and we're getting close to our regulated gallons that we can have before the cost goes up, it might encourage people to be a little bit more conservative that last little bit. So just a thought that goes with that one. And then possibility of it, since we're now metering it, would it be possible to drop it from 1,000-meter increments into smaller increments if you go over the 4,000-gallon water usage? Don't know if that's a possibility either. But again, with the AMI system, there's lots of new things to learn from it that we could look into and share with the users that are going to be going. So thought that way. Number 3, great opportunity today. I took my grandkids down to Wright Park and was ready to have a great time with them, and went up the slide, and there on the inside of the slide was just plastered with some graffiti of some terrible language. And so my daughter happened to be with me that lives here in the Terrace. And so I said, why don't you get online,
Thank you.
take a picture of it, and let's send it in. And so she did such. She did say though, and I don't know what you said your experience with it was very easy. She said it wasn't exactly as user-friendly as what she thought it possibly could have been. It was a little confusing, some points that you had to click here to open up where you're supposed to be actually filling out the information. Then it wanted longitude and latitude, and she was trying to get that to work. And so I held it, and I just held my finger on it, and finally that popped up. And little things like that she was talking about it. But we did send that in, and so I appreciated the opportunity to use that particular device today. And I'm sure that with the information that was shared there, that issue can be taken care of and will be. Appreciate it. That's it.
Good. Great. Thanks, Cheryl. Z.
I don't know if I can follow that.
Gonna be tough.
Yeah, all right. So it was brought to my attention by a few residents, especially after the planning commission meeting. I actually read the whole text today. Not sounded like it read like it was pretty good by the end. I think a lot of people got to say what they wanted to say, and afterwards, actually, a couple of residents reached out to me and said this is the first time they felt like they were listening. So I guess that's a good sign. One of the things I wanted to ask is under 17.86.030 application for new applicant, one-time license fee of $100. Do you happen to know what's the justification for $100 fee?
Yeah, we took what we did is we looked at what it costs to process, to set up that environment, to go out and do the inspection, for the time and resources it takes to do that. That a modest approach to that we felt was $100.
Are we spending any additional labor cost? We are already paying for our existing employees to do that inspection.
Yeah.
So as of right now, it's not costing the city any additional expenses.
Right.
We are allocating, I'm sure some of it, we're allocating that time and
Right.
labor.
Yep.
But it's, as of right now, if I understand correctly, it's not costing us anything additional.
Yeah. Just as all permitting, all licensing, all processes are all bundled into the scales and the fees that the mayor and council that you all set, that we work together to balance that out with resources and put that together in such a way that when it's kind of a user fee, it doesn't take any more time to do essentially anything in the city. However, there's a cost associated with that, like business licenses. There's effort that goes into managing, processing, overseeing, and working with business licenses, so they have a fee. Dog licenses, we already pay those fees for those people, but there is a dog licensing fee to have that service and to request those types of the time that it takes for animal control, for our staff to process those, so that we have a an area of our society that we live in a city environment where we are trying to understand what is happening in your community. So that fee is part of that process.
Sure.
It's not, yeah.
Do you think it's comparable to our neighboring cities, like South Ogden just started allowing from August 20th? I believe their one-time fee is 25, if I'm not wrong. And shouldn't it be comparable? Like $100 feels a little high for not, I understand what you're saying, but it's not occurring any new additional cost to the city. Like the citizens, they said like it almost feels like a punishment, like, oh, you want to do this, you're gonna have to pay $100. So maybe
That's up to
take
you, Mayor
another,
Council.
sure,
You set those fees,
right?
and you can set those fees in process. We're giving those fees as an opportunity to understand the cost that it takes. Just as it's going to take away from code enforcement
Sure.
for the lots and the properties that are now not going to be followed up on for basic code enforcement violations, those efforts will shift over to dealing with chickens.
Sure.
And so yeah, everything here can be done essentially. I hate to say this, especially for everybody to listen to. You could do everything in the city without a fee. You just have to raise taxes to pay for people to do it.
Sure.
There's no additional cost.
Right. No, so I guess I have some homework. I'll go around and check a couple more cities and see what's the comparable. Because, obviously, since there's gonna be a cost no matter what. If we're using our labor, there is a cost associated to it. But I don't want it to, I don't want the fee to be like outrageous, or maybe it would feel like punishment to some. So I guess I'll do some homework and get back in the next meeting.
Yeah.
With some results.
Yeah, it's simple. We just set our fees based on what it costs for us to provide a service. It's as simple as it gets.
Perfect. And under inspection 17.86.050, says upon an initial application, if reinspection is required, if the property does not meet the requirements, for each reinspection, it's $50. So this is going to be a first time ordinance for obviously 99% people. So I'm assuming it would be pretty normal that they're set up, maybe something's wrong. So is it something we can consider that they should get at least one reinspection without any charge?
Yeah.
So they get a chance, like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, this is the problem, you get one chance to fix it. If it's not, then going forward, maybe we can charging them right away. Charging $50 feels a little bit too much.
Yep, that's fine. And when this comes back to you for ordinance and for that discussion, we can hammer out those fee schedules when it comes back with recommendations from Planning Commission to take care of those details for sure.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
I wanted to thank the planning commission for their efforts with the chicken ordinance, as they were, I felt like they really listened to the citizens' concerns. I was concerned when I read it that it was 20,000 square feet, because that was not even in the ballpark when we were discussing it 2 years ago, and it was really really not great. So I'm really grateful that the citizens spoke up about that. I'm glad they came and spoke up, and I'm really glad that the planning commission spoke to that as well, and look forward to in October being able to have a workable one that's actually feasible for our city, not for cities that are elsewhere. So I'm looking forward to that in October to vote on. Thank you.
Bet.
Okay, thank you, Jill. Z, may I ask, when you're checking those, a couple of years ago, we checked them. When I did some checking, there were some cities that were charging a yearly fee. So when I saw this, I thought, well, $100 is probably fair. It's just a one-time fee. So check, see if any of those cities are charging like a $50 yearly fee.
Sure,
And, you get into that, then you're more paperwork,
right.
or just do a one-time. So I don't know, compare those also and
Yeah.
make sure.
I mean, it's not like I'm trying to change the whole ordinance or something. It's
Yeah.
just for one time, something that's cost is already in.
Right,
It just feels, I understand, like some residents may feel it's just too steep.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
doesn't cost me anything to spend some time and look around.
yeah, I understand. Yeah, that ordinance was just a beginning. We needed to start somewhere.
Mhm.
And that's where you start negotiating and putting a good one together that matches our community. As you say, not any other community, but our community. So appreciate that. I think I'll pass. I'm turning over to Tom, administration reports.
I think on Friday, I think you guys got a lengthy weekend review that kind of went through everything. I think the biggest thing right now is we are talking in the newsletter about AMI and some of the things it can and can't do. And mostly the idea that it can be a really great tool going forward. And we're just looking forward to that, stabilizing, getting Weber Basin and Cassell linked up so that we can go to our live, our customer platform. We're excited about that. I think we spoke quite a bit the last couple of weeks about the things we're looking forward to coming up in our RDA meeting. And we can, other than that, if you have any questions for me from weekend review or anything, I'd be happy to take those.
Hey, thank you, Tom. Cheryl?
I'd forgotten one thing, and that was the way the traffic has been redirected with the detour for 300 West construction that was going there. I was concerned about those citizens on that quiet little street that now have all the cars going past there, as I have driven past there. Appreciated that there's now the speed limit sign, the electronic speed limit sign out there to try to remind people to slow down and make sure that they are being respectful to it being a residential area. And the fact that the detour signs and everything are very clear for people to be able to get through there. My concern initially was coming from that small area, that it was hard to get across the traffic coming up from Riverdale Road. But with that roadblock being right there, it's taken care of that quite well, that it's working well. Any updates, further updates on the 300 West?
Yeah, thank you. To that point, when we first started that project, Jake had mentioned, if you guys are seeing something from your optic that is like, okay, are we missing something? I think Jill reached out and said, hey, why don't you guys make that east-west just green and get those people going through there? And we're like, why not? And so as we kind of mentioned in there, thank you for just talking straight across with us, saying, hey, what about this? And it worked out really well. We let the traffic control guy know that absolutely positively on Friday, either that or Thursday night, to have that light switched back to normal operational systems, so that when they complete at the asphalt work on that on Friday, it'll be back to the normal traffic pattern. So you may have a little overlap on the road closure and that, but that's much better than straight green, straight red. When everybody's sitting there on Friday afternoon trying to figure out where to go. So they'll pull the plug on that. he has had situations like that where a city got done with their project, pulled everything, opened the traffic, but the light was still stuck. So that will be coming up. But by Friday, that'll be all paved and ready to go. The entrance, as you guys noticed, oh, okay. They will, as soon as they're done with that down there, they're gonna go, I'm pointing with my paper over to the south, but I mean to the south. That they'll be on 5,000 and 300 for that intersection change out. So they have to tear out that intersection, and they'll be working on some things. That will be a little bit of a challenge regardless. They're working with the school district. We're working with the school district on safe routes for school for that intersection, because it will disrupt getting the kids across there safely. It is a handful there. We've had a challenge with people just blowing through stop signs, not just the the school crossing guards, but just stop signs in general in those areas where they are school crossings. It's kind of frustrating to for sure the school crossing guards and to parents and the safety of children. I don't know how we're going to get people to get eyes up, phones down, but we're going to keep promoting that. And I think the traffic crew probably scratch a couple of reminders to some of those folks when they're blowing through stop signs. It's just like, guys, you cannot do this. There was a couple instances where a child was pulled out of the way structurally, physically, in order to avoid getting hit by a car. And there were stop signs and crossing guards and everybody was there doing their job, but the drivers neglected to do their job. So I don't know how to change that, but yeah, it'll be tragic, but I don't know what to do. Anyways, we're going to keep pushing along on that.
Okay, Tom, thank you.
Yep.
And did everybody hear that? That will be open on Friday?
Yes, it will be open on Friday.
It looked like the paver was there.
Wow.
So
Well,
What's that?
It looks like they were paving it today.
Yeah, they're doing their second layer. They'll be doing the second run on that. Oh, also, there's going to be some inconvenience on the south end on curb and gutter. Everybody got door hangers over there, letting them know to get their vehicles out of their driveways no later than 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, because they're doing curb and gutter work, and you can't drive over fresh concrete. It's counterproductive. But you know, the contractor and our team has done a great job communicating with people, but it is a miserable experience to go through a major construction project in your front yard. No matter how you slice that, it's tough. So, you know, we're talking to people and we realize the sooner we get it done, the sooner the pain will be over.
Good.
So.
good. Okay. Well, that's great news. Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
Can't wait to see if that's open on Friday.
It'll be great, Mayor.
Oh, okay. Well, sounds pretty confident.
That's the
doesn't
commitment.
I'm sure you'll hear about it if it's not.
it? Oh, we will. All right, let's move to item number 9, upcoming events. Ladies and gentlemen, the League of Cities and Towns Annual Conference is already upon us, very early this year. So it kind of snuck up on us. I am going. Tom, you are going.
I'm going.
Jeff, you're going. Michael, you're going. Cheryl, you're going. Can't make it. Okay, we can ride down together if you wish. I would suggest we meet here tomorrow morning. Breakfast is at 7 o'clock. I don't think we have to be there quite that early.
It's still 9,
Yeah.
8:45, 7:30,
Yeah.
I think.
I think Tom and I discussed this today. We'll probably pick up Tom at the park and ride heading down 89 at
Antelope Drive in 89.
Antelope Drive in 89. Pick you up at 6:45. We'll get down there at 7:30.
That would be fine. Give you time to get your registration stuff done. Get your
Registration.
package. We can sleep
Huh?
in. We can sleep in a little bit that day.
Hey, I like to enjoy my breakfast.
I like
Take
to
my-
enjoy my pillow.
I'll get you out of here tonight, you go to bed early. Send the grandkids home and go to bed.
Well, it takes you an hour to eat breakfast.
I'd
Listen,
like
to give
to,
up a bad,
We gotta get our spot.
yeah, we gotta get our spot. Then we gotta,
I know, back of the room, I know.
wow.
I'm not
Have
the
to be
only
there
one.
first to get there.
All right,
Give 'em a bad one. Okay,
all right. Is
we'll be
everybody
there.
okay leaving this parking lot at 6:45?
See?
Yes.
See?
My gosh, guys.
I'll still
Okay.
be in bed, thank you.
See?
That's the only reason you're not coming. You don't
Thinking about us though.
wanna wake up for.
No, I won't.
45, 7:30. Hey, you never know about traffic. I mean. Okay. And Thursday may be the same thing, but we'll see, maybe. Okay. Let's give it a try.
Will do.
Okay. Okay, 6:45 right here. And we'll carpool down,
Then I'll see you at the park and ride at
park and
7,
ride, whenever,
whenever you roll in.
about 7:45.
I'll be there at
Cheryl- we have to
6:15
wait for
waiting.
Cheryl to get out.
Okay.
It might be 7:45 by the time we get down
Better
there.
than Myself.
All right, thank you. That'll be a great conference. That'll be a good one, and it's local. It's only 2 days. You know, 2 and done, so that'll be great. Looking forward to it. September 17th, work session, 5 PM. Then city council meeting at 6. And then September 26th, planning commission meeting, tentative. I imagine you gotta put that in ink on your calendar. So, okay, great. Thank you very much. This time, ladies and gentlemen, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting and adjourn into our redevelopment agency meeting.
So moved?
Second,
We have a motion, a second, to adjourn this meeting and move into our redevelopment agency meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Okay, we'd like to welcome all of you to our redevelopment agency meeting this Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Thank you, Amy, for attending. Appreciate you. We'll start tonight's meeting with a roll call. Amy, here?
here.
Board Member Shan,
Here.
Board Member Parkinson,
Here.
Vice Chair West,
Here.
Board Member Thomas.
Here.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd just like to welcome everyone in the audience with us tonight. Introduction of guests.
Okay,
I've seen-
tonight we
Tom,
have-
you know him very,
Yes,
very well.
we have gotten acquainted over the last literally couple of years. Trying to get something to land on this property. And we appreciate Jeremy and Kirk and their effort in finding a project that can work with what the city is trying to accomplish in not only just in our business area, but in our RDA. And we feel like we've got a great partnership with them. They have a long history of successful projects. And that's, Jeremy, that's what he does all the time, is projects. Jeremy is his roots are in Washington Terrace. He's spent a couple of years around this place. And so we're glad for his not only his interest just in his project, but in the cooperation we've had with them in helping to get this project put together in a way that is beneficial for not only what they're trying to accomplish, but also what we're trying to accomplish. So we appreciate that.
Okay,
Mayor?
nope, you're just introducing at this time. We have other business.
Tom, you mind if I introduce myself a little bit more than Jeremy?
Sure.
Please do. We'd like to know who
Come on
we're,
up to the
who
podium.
we have. Come up to the podium.
My name's Kirk Johnson, and my involvement in the project is, this is where I want to call my home for my business for the next 20 or 30 years. I'm a financial advisor with Edward Jones, and I grew up in South Ogden and live a mile away from the proposed site. Went to Bonneville, lived here all my life, very invested in the community. Ran through Washington Terrace this morning on my morning run, and saw the new park, and just love the community that we have here. Yes, yeah, I saw the landscaping trailers, smelled them as I ran past today. So Yeah, just, we've got an amazing community and hope to have something that I call home, second home for a long time, and have some other business owners that are gonna partner with me in calling their home. And so hope it works out for everybody. So.
Great. Thank you,
Thank
Kurt.
you. Thank you.
I appreciate the filling in of my blank.
Appreciate you two gentlemen with us tonight. Let's proceed. Consent items, approval of tonight's agenda. Changes, staff?
No, you're good.
Okay, we're good to go. Approval of meeting minutes from August 6th, 2024. Any changes or corrections? Seeing none, anyone opposed to the approval of those two items? Seeing none, we'll approve those by general consent. Let's move to item number 4, new business 4.1, presentation, discussion, understanding the use of a redevelopment agency, or an RDA for short. Tom has a quick presentation for us, short presentation for us.
Okay. Settle in.
I got to tell you, I've been working on RDAs with Tom for
I did.
20 years, 15 years, and
3 minutes. Paul.
you know, to say it never gets old is
You
false.
said that's
It does
3
get
minutes?
old.
3 minutes.
Okay,
It
somebody
does
set a
get,
timer.
it does get old. But
What is this? Citizen comment?
for the new people, it's necessary. So thank you. Proceed.
Yeah, here we go. Essentially, we're talking about the Southeast Business District. There is a redevelopment agency that you are the board for that redevelopment agency. This environment that we're talking about is shall we say, the combining of resources from all of the taxing entities essentially in Weber County that are independent of cities. So you've got Weber School District, you've got Weber County, you've got 911, Central Weber Sewer, Weber Dispatch, and other ancillary taxing entities that have chosen to participate with us and share the tax revenue that would otherwise have gone to supporting their operations. They've given up for the past 10 years, and actually before that, but when we renewed for the last 10 years, essentially 9 years, they've given up half of their tax increment in order to provide you with a tool to be able to help incentivize the development of projects in Washington Terrace, southeast area. So this is the southeast area RDA. So basically 9 years ago, we went to all of these taxing entities, and it was really fun that we were able to work with all of them and say, look, give us another 10 years. Give us a little bit more time to be able to make this work. And I must say, I am delighted that finally we're in the ninth year of our 10-year extension to be able to not only work with this excellent team, but also we were able to see some amazing success with Golden West Credit Union. The very reason that an RDA is in place is to help things get across the finish line. And in this case, that's precisely what we're doing. So the other taxing entities have been giving 50% to the RDA to help incentivize those things and to incentivize projects, whether it's some projects to make the place look a little bit better or to incentivize projects in this way. They come because there's a sense of cooperation. There's that working together with those other taxing entities to make something work. They are trusting that we can put together some projects that can help. And we've been very successful with that. And we have that opportunity, and particularly tonight, we have that opportunity with Team Kirk and Jared, or whoever you are. Anyways. So this is a map of the project area as a whole. This entire area receives tax increment and has been doing it for several years. And so there are revenue reserves that can be used to incentivize projects. Now, usually they would go over a long period of time, but we have capital assets in reserve that we can be able to pay on a performance on an activity. That's how you paid for the 1.2 to help Golden West Credit Union. you use some of those reserves out of this RDA. This is the location of the project in relationship to the overall RDA area. I hope I'm able to have this be heard. So basically it's in the southeast area of the city and the southeast quadrant of the RDA. You can see there's a little bit of blue there on that very bottom edge there on the bottom of Adams Avenue. So if someone wants to come in there with a really great project on the corner, they're trying to sell the lot, let's get a project in there. Let's get a terrific medical building or something to go in that 4700 and Adams Avenue. That would be
That's on the west side.
that is on the west side and the east side. There's a little bit there where that property where their little trailer is. Stevens, if Stevens wanted to move that to the side and you put a nice hotel there or something, that might go well as well. There you go. I got a couple more projects for you. And then Golden West owns the property that's just west of Adams Avenue, right there, south of the water towers. So here we go. Here's your blow up of the project that we're talking about right now. It's 5580 South Adams Avenue. Again, we've been working with the developer on getting this put together in a way that that can be successful for all concerned. The sale price for the land, during negotiations, we work in a confidential environment so that you can set parameters for negotiating land. That's a very important concept of working and selling land. We don't just say, hey, you can buy this land for $300,000. That's our low number, but why don't you try to get $4 million? You know, those kind of negotiations right in open. That's why you have closed sessions for land sales. So we participated in some discussions. After that, our team worked with the developer and said, okay, we've got a project that we would like to sell you this property. We were able to come to a price of $650,000, which is way better than the $400,000, which they didn't offer, by the way, just to be clear.
We will make that up.
Tonight. Let me back up one. Oh, sorry, gang. Oh, shoot. Is my 3 minutes up? Okay, here we go. So 650,000 buys that whole L-shaped property. Okay, but here, let me jump back real quick. Forgive me. I can't help it. So though they're paying for all of the ground, this area here is restricted. This, the library has an easement on that is basically forever. In this environment here, no structures can be built. Nothing can impede their peaceful enjoyment of this property. Essentially, the developer owns this, but they have free use to it. Now, if the landowner wants to go over there and have a picnic, no one can stop them. This parking lot right here it's a shared parking lot, but the library is obligated for the upkeep and maintenance of that parking lot. As you notice, you have new seal coat and new striping on that parking lot. The library took care of that as part of their obligation to keep parking facilities up to speed. So it has brand new slurry seal on it. The structural usable space on this project is here where the grass is on the south side of basically of the library complex and is where the building will be built. Essentially, the building will be and if I miss anything, team, jump in with me, but it will have 2 office suites on the main floor on the north and south end of the project and a what they would call a flex space, but my understanding is, too soon to say, it looks as though they've got a tenant already partnering on that space. So that's about 5,000 square feet over there? Is that, am I wrong? Six in the back? Okay. So main floor, something like that. And then they will have, there we go. So your main floor layout. And then your upstairs layout will reflect generally what your downstairs is on this section. So this will be the 2-story area. This will all be 1-story and come around to make the whole project with the 2 stories over here. Then historically, our goal has been, in our discussions over literally 15 years, to get something in there that was at least 10,000 square feet. There were discussions early on that, hey, it would be nice to get a little sandwich shop. It'd be nice to get a little drive-through or something. The challenge with that is you have a much smaller footprint with a much lower tax increment that you can get for property tax from a small footprint building. We started looking at the math on a multi-level or a larger structure to help make something work there, and realize that really when you're looking at our environment, Class A office is what can work for the city. So in this case, our goal was at least 10,000. They're coming in at 14,454 square feet. That's a good building. That's a nice building for that amount of ground. There was that discussion for a minute of some mixed use that didn't work out, but this is a great use for that property there. Possible development styles. These are just ideas of 2-story buildings that we find on the internet. Things that kind of reflect what they were showing on the mixed use development. Things that kind of blend well with the neighborhood, blend well with what's going on in this area, and what things could look like. This is not hey, this is not going to be exactly what we're looking at, but these are possible styles of 2-story buildings that could go in. Before development. So why does an RDA even exist? For us, before development, this property realized no tax value, none whatsoever. After an anticipated taxable value of 4.62, 4,600,000-ish, you will actually look at tax increment coming in that will really support this project really, really well for us and all of the rest of the taxing entities that are here, that are supporting us at that 50% that they're giving up. So for Washington Terrace City, you have a value here, same value across, of 4,600,000. Washington Terrace will see that at a tax rate of 0.00178, total tax revenues per year, about $8,045. Over 20 years, that's $160,000. Compare that to the zero we were receiving before. Not a bad return. Countywide is where you're sharing the increment, and it's no secret the proposed increment is $100,000. Countywide, from all of those who helped participate in making those funds available, you're looking at their tax rate of 0.010372 with $47,000 a year of property tax. You think your property tax bill's tough? Try commercial, and that pays at 100%. Over 20 years, you're almost $1 million in tax revenue that wasn't there before. That because of the RDA helped get this project over the curb. It helped it move forward. Tax rate, your value times your tax rate. Here's your tax rate equals your revenue. Did I miss anything, guys?
I'm just saying for the education purpose, this is why the taxing entities are willing to participate in RDA, right? It's not a generosity.
Thank you. It shows what an RDA can do. And that's the whole intent on this presentation tonight, is to educate on the value of helping with some increment, even though this is actually a fairly modest increment contribution at 100,000. The 100,000 is intentionally structured to work for infrastructure, for stormwater control, curb and gutter in the property, and some asphalt, a new fire hydrant that they need to install, those kind of things. So your break even on this, I worked with Zions Bake for a minute. They were really gracious in walking through this. It's very, very simple, but you're only 2 years and you're broke even. You're break even. That's pretty cool. That is an amazing turnaround on that. But it's not going to be necessarily reflected because it's going to be from capacity you have in the RDA. Any questions? That is the long of it and the short of it.
Okay. Everybody understands RDAs now. Jill, come on, say yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Until the next one comes up.
And anytime any of you want to
Yeah.
sit down and chat RDAs, I love it. Did I miss anything, gang? Did I miss anything on RDAs? You've gone through a lot of these, Jeremy. It's like the best presentation you've ever seen on RDAs, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
That's better every time, doesn't it?
Okay, we better keep going.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Thank you, Tom, for that. Let's move on to item number 5, special orders. Special orders tonight will be actually 2 public hearings. 5.1 is a public hearing to hear comment in support or opposition to a proposal to surplus all of Weaver parcel number 070370031. Tom, a short presentation, and then we'll turn it over to the public, which we really don't have any public here, but turn it over, open it up real quick, and we'll ask the board members for any questions. So Tom?
In order for the RDA to sell this property, you need to designate it as surplus. You actually, the RDA actually owns this property. It was transferred to the RDA in order to come up with the best solution for the sale of the property. So now you have the responsibility of surplusing this property, and this action will ratify that surplus of the property. It's that simple.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Board members, any questions for Tom?
Why does it have to be considered surplus in order for this to go forward? As I read through that, I went, there's 2 steps to it. What is the purpose for making it into surplus?
Surplus gives an official designation that it is property that we are not going to be using
As a
for other things. And it is a surplus, like if we have let's say we have old computers and we want to get rid of them. We're not going to use them anymore. We surplus them. Now, those are things that you don't have to make a motion on because they're under a certain value. But for large ticket items, you surplus those items to say you may sell it so that it is surplus.
Thank you.
Okay,
Cheryl,
That made
Fine.
sense.
good?
Yes.
Okay.
okay.
Now,
Any other
putting
questions?
it into those simple terms.
Okay, no other questions. We'll open it up to the public. No public, so we'll go back to any questions by board. Seeing none, we'll move on to item 5.2, public hearing to hear comment in support and opposition to a proposal to sell Weaver parcel number 170370031. Tom?
Okay. We would propose, as you've seen in your packet, that we would propose selling this property. As indicated in the sale agreement that you have received for $650,000. And that sale of the property will also have in it a sunset agreement that the project will be required to be completed in 2 years with an extension for a year if there's mitigating circumstances that are preventing the completion of the project. And we would work with the developer on crossing that bridge when that came and saying, yeah, you have some additional time. Let's say that they were 3/4 the way through the project, 2 years came along, we're not pulling the plug on anything. That's going to be completed. We're going to get a certificate of occupants, and the incentive will be paid at that time. So there is reference in the purchase agreement that there is incentive. That incentive is not identified in the purchase agreement, only referenced because the incentive is a separate agreement that you have on the docket this evening. So right now, your approval is to sell the properties for $650,000 based on fair market value and associated with a project that will help support the very activities in our southeast RDA area and help with revenue and supporting the residents of Washington Terrace by doing so.
Okay, thank you. Board members, any questions? Okay, turn it over to public comment. No public is present to speak, so we'll go right back to the board members. Any questions, comments?
The previous questions I had that would seem to be incorporated into the sale agreement, so it's clear to me.
Okay, great, thank you. Then we'll close those public hearings and move from our special orders. Move to item number 6, new business, continued. Item 6.1, motion/resolution 24-11. Resolution authorizing the surplus of certain real property owned by the city and or redevelopment agency.
No further comment.
No further comment. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'd make a motion that we approve the property in question as surplus and approve 24-11 as is it an ordinance or a
Resolution.
resolution?
Okay, we have a motion.
I second it.
We have a second. I don't know who you're gonna give that to, Amy. They were right on the money. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? This will be a roll call vote. Amy?
Parkinson,
Yes.
Vice Chair West.
Yes.
Board Member Thomas,
Yes.
Board Member Christiansen,
Yes.
Board Member Zishan.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, board members. That is unanimous. Let's move to item 6.2. Motion/resolution 24-12. A resolution authorizing the sale of certain real property owned by the city and or redevelopment agency.
No additional comments, Mayor.
Okay. Board members?
Yes, I just would like to thank the developers. This has been a long, arduous process, and I really appreciate your commitment to our city and commitment to bringing a quality product and working with the fiddly parts of this land. So I just wanted to thank you for keeping with us and making something that is going to be great.
Yeah.
Having said that, now it's 700K.
No, I think we appreciate that. And I think only 2 local boys could probably pull that off and, enjoy really in their hometown, and be great to just run to work every day, right? Literally just run or even walk fast, right? So, okay, we'll entertain a motion, board members.
I make a motion to approve resolution 24-12, authorizing the sale of real property owned by the city or RDA.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Amy, roll call.
Vice Chair West,
Yes.
Board Member Thomas,
Yes.
Board Member Christiansen,
Yes.
Board Member Zishan,
Yes.
Board Member Parkinson.
Yes.
Okay, that is unanimous. So that's a done deal. Thank you very much. Let's move to item 6.3. Tom touched on this a little bit in his presentation. Motion resolution 24-13, approval of incentive for 5580 South Adams Avenue project. Tom.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Working with the development team and some of the nuances of this project and needing to make sure that unlike other projects that they can store stormwater just in a swell or some other environment, they're going to have to do some underground control for stormwater retention. It is going to be fairly cumbersome. a very clean environment to work with, an incentive, are those things that are structural, not necessarily the building and making the building pretty and stuff, which is nice to do, but on-site for the control of stormwater, for the impermeable surfaces that are throughout that project, they'll be able to manage that. And we've come up with a proposal of $100,000 to go towards that at the completion of the project. So when they get their C of O, they'll also be able to trigger a request to Washington Terrace City for a check for $100,000 that would go towards those items that are listed in the incentive agreement. Those include everything from the underground storage, the curb, gutter on site, and some asphalt, the fire hydrant, and those ancillary items. So those would be, and it'll eat up 100,000 quite easily.
Clarification, you said a check from Washington Terrace City. Did you mean a
Thank
check from
you,
the RDA?
thank
The
you,
RDA.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, the RDA. I appreciate that correction. That was important. Thank you.
Nice try, Tom.
I'm not, dude, I promise, there's no way they're getting 100 grand from the city. That's a guarantee. But the RDA does have capacity because everyone helped to support what we're doing. This is so neat.
That's great.
You guys already know. We have been working a long time for this project to come around, and that lot has been vacant a long time. So
That's great.
congratulations to
And
all
these
of you.
guys have been patient a long time.
Okay, board members, you've got in front of you a resolution 24-13. Let me know how you
I
feel.
would make a motion to approve resolution 2413, authorizing the incentive payment, the completion of the project.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is that motion put together right? That's what did you say? It's the completion of the project?
At the completion.
At the completion of the project or the certificate of occupancy,
Okay,
which that works.
okay. We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion? Amy, last roll call vote of the evening.
It is. I'm so sorry. I was typing. Was it Board Member Parkinson who made the second? Yes.
second.
Okay, I thought it was. I was typing. Yes. Let's start with the roll call. Board Member Thomas.
Yes.
Board Member Christiansen.
Yes.
Board Member Zishan.
Yes.
Board Member Parkinson.
Yes.
Vice Chair West.
So yes,
Okay, that is unanimous. Thank you, board members. Good to get that done. Thanks to both of you. Appreciate you very much. Tom, thanks to you. Did a great job.
Thank you. Without a quality development team, these things don't happen.
There you go.
So if one does not go without the other, but thank you, gentlemen. It'll be a pleasure. The work has just begun.
That's right. That's right. Let's move some dirt.
Let's
All right,
go.
ladies and gentlemen, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say